So you're thinking about moving to the Tri-Cities, Washington. That's wonderful news. And I really thank you for joining me on my channel that's dedicated to living in the Tri-Cities, Washington, and exploring all of the wonderful details and history and geology and opportunities that exist here in the Tri-Cities. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please, below in the links is an option to subscribe. Please do so that you can be alert as to what my next videos that will be coming around. Also, if you are thinking about moving here and you really want to learn and investigate some areas that perhaps I haven't yet covered in my video series, then please, my details are in the description below, and you can reach out to me whether it's in the next couple months or next year, and I am happy to help you hone in on what is going to service and meet your needs the most. So let's get started. Today, what I'm going to share in this video is Pasco, Washington. And to get started with it, I want to use a Google map so that I can show you where we are relative to the whole Tri-Cities, where the region or the area location that I'm going to show you today is located within the entire Pasco area itself. So that'll be fun to do. And then we'll go out and we'll do a walking tour, and I'll show you 3 price points. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I'll show you 3 price points in just this small locale. So let me give you a little bit of a heads up. What I've done with Pasco, and I have separated into 10 specific regions, and I will cover each of those regions. When I say region, it's more like a neighborhood, but I will cover all of those, pare it down so that you have a good idea of what that neighborhood looks like and what the price points are, what it's close to in terms of amenities, and just, give you hopefully a really good feel of what that neighborhood is going to look like. The total population of Pasco, Washington is about 80,000 people. That is the second largest city of the Tri-Cities, the second being Kennewick, and then the third being Richland. However, we have to remember, and once we get to Richland, I'll describe better on that we have Richland and West Richland, both incorporated cities, but they are sort of grouped together, but not really. It's kind of interesting. And let's go ahead and get started and get into my video. So if you'll follow me here, we'll go into the Google map. All right, so here what we've got is I started out like I normally do and show the whole area of the Tri-Cities. So we've got Pasco here, Kennewick, and then Richland over here. And then of course we have West Richland. Now this extends, your opportunities to live in the Tri-City area do extend beyond just these 3 or 4 cities that I'm going to show you, but I'm going to focus on those right now, and then we'll move into the outliers and a little bit further out, either one, based on your request from me to go out and take a look at maybe, let's say, Prosser or Benton City, or when we get to it in the video series. So I have a huge schedule planned to get this series underway. Let's go into the housing. And again, I'm going to take this from a Pasco-wide perspective. It's not just West Pasco or East Pasco, it's Pasco in general. So like I said, our population is about 80,000 in Pasco. Based on a comparative market analysis for 3 months back, our houses might run anywhere from $80,000 all the way up to $1.7 million. Now, those are definitely outliers. I didn't pull in a median here just because it's taking in way too broad of an area. We've got a lot of new development in the Tri-Cities. We've got homes that are on the river. We have those that are more on the interior. Then we have some of our older homes. So when I'm giving you this number here, that's dating back to homes that were built in 1904. So you can just imagine what those are like. They're kind of in an area where people might buy them for investments, especially at an $80,000. You might imagine what kind of investment you're going to need to make with that. So where we are looking here, let's zoom in here, it's in considered West Pasco. Now, here's our 182 and our 240, and this big circle here encompasses the Tri-Cities, Washington. We have the Columbia River that runs through the middle, separating Pasco from Richland and Kennewick. Now, something else I'd like to point out here is that Pasco here, its entire area is nestled between the Snake River and the Columbia River. We're north of the Columbia River. So that's a fun fact I like. 395 will take you north, and that will head you up towards obviously northern Washington, but then also it'll veer off and you can go from there either to Seattle or Spokane. Now, there's other ways to get to Spokane and there's other ways to get to Seattle. So that's not the detail that we're looking for today. When we talk about West Pasco, typically what that means is that it's anything that is west of 395. So 395 tends to be our kind of our dividing ground for Pasco anyway. So 395, west of 395 is going to be Pasco. Court Street is the main street that runs through Pasco, where you get off the freeway there. There's a lot of activities. The Columbia Basin College is right there off of 20th Avenue. It's a thoroughfare that goes through here. As you move out this way, there's more and more houses built. Here is where our businesses are for the most part and whatnot. Our Columbia Basin College is right up here. And here, Pasco houses our airport. And I have given a little detail on our airport, but it's a growing airport. And we are actually looking at expanding that airport, not just by what services are offered, but by actually your experience there, parking, the number of terminals. There's a whole master plan for that. So that is something that is coming along. Now we're going to go north of 182. So just bear in mind, we are west of 395, and now we're going to head north of 182. And the way that I get up here is I'm going through Road 36. So you can see here that Road 36 looks over the Tri-Cities Airport right here. So houses that are built along this road, and there's some neighborhoods, and I will be taking you through those at some point. Those actually kind of overlook this area. Then as we get further up, we have more of our agricultural land, and that is slowly turning into residential. The Tri-Cities is definitely an area that's going to do spread, like urban sprawl. We're really not going to do a huge amount of growing up. We don't have that. First of all, we've got 3 cities. And so where would the one city be? Like if you were in a large metropolitan like Chicago or even New York City for that matter. So bearing that in mind, we are growing out. So when we come up Road 36 here, we're going to take a right here on Burden. And the area that I'm going to show you is right here. And Road 68 is where you will find most of your amenities and kind of your city center, if you will. Now, it's not the city center of Pasco, but it is definitely our most updated and closest to this area. You can always drop down to Court Street, which is a real easy jaunt too, from up here where you get down into, like, let's say if you needed to shop at Albertsons over a Yolks, okay? So it's all a matter of preference what you want to do or where you need to go. So this is what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be between Burden and what's here called Sandifer Parkway, all the way over to where the airport it borders the airport, and then here to Road 68. So it's a smaller area, and I think you'll see why. The price point in here is tighter, and that's kind of what my goal is to make sure that I don't have, like $1.5 million houses here amongst 550 and maybe, probably not the 300, but I want to give you a really good picture of it. If this isn't helpful or you would rather have that large picture, please comment below. Let me know what makes most sense to you and what you really kind of want to watch, because that's why I'm here. I've got my boots on the ground in the Tri-Cities, and I can be your boots for you too. Comparative market analysis done on this area here, the boundaries within here, over the last 3 months have shown that there have been 32 homes that have either sold, are currently active, or are currently pending. 16 of those 32 did sell. And we currently have 10 in a pending status, and we have 6 in an active status. Homes are turning over pretty fast right now. Our median days on market are 12 days at this time. So what we're looking at in this area, based on my CMA, is that median list price is $422. That is for the listing, the pending, because we don't have that sale value yet. But then when we look at what the housing sale was for, that median value is $438. Now, using the median value, it was very similar to the average, and that's because we do have less homes in here, and it's a smaller area. We're not taking in thousands and thousands of homes. We're taking in hundreds of homes. The homes in here will range anywhere from about 11 to 1,200 up to about 3,200. Again, I'm giving you I'm pulling out the outliers that might lie in there. Although 1,150 is probably pretty much the lowest that you'll see in terms of square footage. So the median value based on the CMA of the last 3 months in this area is $237 per square foot. In here as well is also, in this very locale, is an opportunity for new build. So I sort of mentioned earlier that the Tri-Cities has new build all over the place. And as you might imagine, with the farmer's field out here and this blank space here that you can see, we will be growing into that area. And right now we have a builder called Hayden Homes that's building out there in a place called Madison Park. So what we're going to do is we're going to go look at 3 price points. And I did this based on the median value. So because the values in this home that are currently from my CMA ranged from $380,000 to $565,000, then that's what made me choose the median value and not just to go with an average. So the first price point we're going to look at is going to be the highest, and it's not $565,000, but it's between the median value of $420,000 and the high point of $565,000, and that's going to be about $510,000. And this house is actually pending. We'll take a walk around that neighborhood, and And really what I want you to see is the quality of the neighborhood. Look at the landscaping. Look at how clean the homes are and how well kept they are. This is an area that allows for RVs and boats, but yet they, for the most part, they are kept in very clean condition in terms of how they're stored and not littering the streets and the parkways with that and stuff. The next price point we'll look at is literally the median, which is $420,000, and that falls directly between the lowest price and the highest price. So we will walk by a home there that is currently listed for $420,000. And then the last price point is going to be there on the lower side of the median, and that's going to be halfway between the median and the lowest value, and that brings us up to about $400,000, or in this case, I'm going to show you a home that's $405,000. Oh, and I want to tell you, stay till the end, because I actually have an interview of somebody that lives in these neighborhoods that shares with us when he got here to the Tri-Cities, what brought him here, and what he likes about the Tri-Cities. So I think that's a fun fact, and that's what I'm going to do with all my videos, is plug in we interview with people that live here and a little bit about their history, what they like about it, and how they have grown to become the person that they are when they're here. Because I can tell you, when I first came to the Tri-Cities as a youngster, I actually went to the Columbia Basin College and did all of my pre-pharmacy work so that I could get into Washington State University. We have a lot of opportunities here for education in terms of college education as well as technical. Basically, almost anything you want to do, we can service you here, get you trained and on your way to building your career. So let's take it out. Let's go. So again, don't forget to subscribe before we head out, and here we go. Now we're in the portion of the designated area for this walking tour where we're above the median price for the neighborhood, as I mentioned in the Google map. So the homes in here are going to run $500,000 plus. And again, it's a nice neighborhood. What we're looking at here is homes maybe built around 2011. In fact, the one I'm going to show you, which they look like they're getting ready to move to, it was built in 2011. It's 2,141 square feet, and it's a 3-2 with a 3-car garage, and it is being sold for $510,000. So our houses, by the way, aren't, right now we're doing pretty good for our days on market. One thing to keep in mind about the Tri-Cities, Washington, is we have been recognized as one of the top 10 metropolitan areas in the country where our homes tend to really hold their value. So there's a safety in that. We can talk more about that if you'd like. Just give me a call. You know where to find my information in the description below. So I still have this bloody cold, working on that. I feel fine. It's just my darn voice, and I can't hear either. Anyway, this is just a little walk through here, and I want to walk across the street right now to show another really good shower home. And now this is one of my first videos, so I reckon I'm gonna improve as time goes on. Hey, there's an RV and a greenhouse back there. People like their yard work around here. Not me so much, that's why I live in a townhome. I already took on the downsizing journey. But how cute is this house right behind? I just had to show that one. I love it. It's like a little Tuscany style villa. I just love it. So anyway, here we've been looking through here, and I could show you so many more houses, but if you just want to take my word for it, people really do take good care of their homes up here in this area that I'm describing, and above it and below it. You know, I'm just kind of clipping it off in bite-sized chunks. All of these homes here in this neighborhood are relative to the city center, which is Road 68 here in Pasco. Every one of the cities are going to have their city center, but this one here just so happens to be Pasco. West Pasco. So anyway, let's carry on. Let's take a look at homes that wrap around our median value in the area that I've designated for this particular tour. I'm standing in front of a home that's for sale, and it's built in 2004. It's $420,000 asking, 323, and has a 3-car garage, as you can see. I'm going to continue walking because it also has a fully fenced backyard, which these homes up here will, because they're right on top of each other in terms of landlines. But they also have RV parking here. It's got a really nice landscape backyard that makes it highly desirable for those that love to spend time in the outdoors and enjoy the sun, the sunsets, and just the nice air. Here we're walking by another little house. These really have a charming country feel to them, don't they? Kind of a woodsy or cabiny feel. That is the airport. So Don, thanks so much for coming out and stopping me as I do my video here in this neighborhood.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and you were just sharing with me you've been here almost 20 years?
Oh, about 22 now.
And job brought you here?
Originally, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I ask you what you do love about it?
The Tri-Cities?
Yeah.
I do enjoy lots of sunshine and warm weather.
Yeah.
Early springs, nice, late summers and falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it,
Do you like to explore?
I do. I love anything outdoors. I honestly, I'm a winter person too.
Are you really?
I love snow sports, and so I do have to drive a ways to get to those. We don't get much snow here.
Yeah, no, we don't. Unless you want to go to, what is it, Blue?
Bluewood.
Yeah, Bluewood, yeah.
Yep.
My sister and brother used to go there when they were kids.
But otherwise, I do enjoy lots of nice weather activities.
Very good.
Mountain biking, hiking,
Yeah.
any kind of cycling. Yeah.
Good deal. Well, Dawn, thank you for sharing with
you're
us.
welcome.
Yeah. And thanks again for joining me. I'm very excited to share with you the Tri-Cities, Washington, and all of the treasures that I personally am finding as I dig in deeper so that I can educate you and not just go with the superficial fluff of what people talk about. I'm actually doing my homework. So again, Kayla Corbin, thanks for joining. And there you go. It's a little bit late.